I have a huge amount of faith in human beings, and I think we always are able to adapt and we will find new ways to create. If anything, we will create more, we will create differently. But I don't think that AI will ever be able to replace the things that are innately human, and there's nothing more human than the arts.
Hello and welcome to Anchored Echoes, a brand new segment on Entrepreneur Middle East where we try to delve a little deeper into the intricacies of the entrepreneurial mindset. I'm your host Aalia, and as always, I'll begin this with a disclaimer. This is not a podcast. The intention behind Anchored Echoes is for them to simply be short visual supplements to the stories we get to pen down on some of the most successful entrepreneurs and business leaders in the UAE and the wider Middle East region. So as always, before you tune into the rest of this episode, please make sure that you check out the link in the caption below or above, depending on where you are watching this, to check out the written feature on our guest today. And with that, it is my absolute pleasure to inform you that today's guest is Ahlam Bolooki, CEO of Emirates Literature Foundation. Ahlam, thank you very much for joining us on Anchored Echoes.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we are sitting at the absolutely gorgeous Emirates Literature Foundation headquarters, an institution that for so long has been a proponent of the creative works. But we are also in a time when there is a sense of predicament amongst the creative folks. There's a tinge of uncertainty that has come into their hearts, and that has a lot to do with AI permeating into the creative spaces. Now, AI in and of itself is not inherently evil perhaps, but it does threaten to overtake crafts that are meant to be done and enjoyed at a very human level. As someone who is a business leader in this space, what would your advice be to the creative entrepreneurs and also, the writers and the artists and the poets that we have in this country who are perhaps feeling a little dejected or annoyed by this reality? How can they navigate this new space without sort of giving up on their creative integrity?
Yeah, I think definitely, it's a time like never before.
Yeah.
AI is here and it's here to stay, and we benefit from it in a huge way as well. AI can be a lot of things to us, a lot of useful things, and I think the one thing that it can't be is it can't be human. So I think we have a responsibility to delve deeper into what it means to be human and what are those superpowers that are purely human. The connection that we have as humans between each other, AI can't give us that. And we're definitely in a disruptive time, and it's a time like never before. And we've got to navigate and see how we come out the other side. But we have a responsibility as a society, as humans on this planet, to choose a human-centric world, and make sure the AI benefits human life and our future and the future that we want to build together. So I think I have a huge amount of faith in human beings, and I think we always are able to adapt and we will find new ways to create. If anything, we will create more, we will create differently. But I don't think that AI will ever be able to replace the things that are innately human, and there's nothing more human than the arts.
Now, something that is a bit of a commonality between entrepreneurs and the creative folks is this almost gripping fear of rejection and failure. Now, in the midst of these sort of, inevitable pitfalls that come with this space, do you think there are some mindset rituals that they can adapt or adopt rather to ensure that they are not just, true to their visions and their values, but also they're able to uphold their creative sort of imagination and curiosity?
Right. I think inspiration always shows up, but it's got to find you working. This is what one of our poets, Mark Fidesz, said in our showcase event a couple of weeks ago. You've got to write every day. If you're a writer, if you're an artist, if you're an entrepreneur, you've got to show up even when it's difficult, even when you're not sure what you need to do. In case of writers, I would say you have to write every day, and it's not writing that's perfect, and not every day writing will be perfect, but you just gotta keep doing it and keep doing it, and with that you are building muscle, getting better. Practice makes perfect, and I think mastering something needs a lot of time spent in doing what you're doing. So I think that's number one, persistence, and it always depends on how badly you want something, right? Somebody might give up and they might actually change direction and say, this is not a dream of mine, it's not, but someone simply can't give up because it's at the core of their being, it's at the core of their existence to be a writer, to be an artist. There is no other alternative for them, and those are the people who will fight hardest to get to where they are. Some of the greatest writers of our time, have had multiple rejections. I believe, J.K. Rowling has had over 40 rejections for Harry Potter when it's, before it ended up being what it is. And we see this with our writing fellows, and it's something that we teach as well, in that don't give up. It's not, the story might not suit a market or a certain agent, but it for another agent, it's an opportunity, and there's always a market for something. Or take in feedback, take in feedback and then decide, is this feedback, does it make sense for my work? Do I stick by this creative decision? And I think as long as you continue to create, and as long as you don't give up on the journey and continue to evolve, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, whether it's an entrepreneur, an artist, a writer, whoever you are. We have to show up.
Yes, I love that. You need to show up.
Right.
All right, final question. Now, at the intersection of the creative works, the businesses that we have, and the government initiatives, is the UAE's sort of collective effort to position itself as a cultural and arts hub. For the up-and-coming creative entrepreneurs and even the other artists in this space, what would you say they need to prioritize to ensure that they are contributing effectively to the creative economy of the UAE?
I think you need to prioritize creating a lot. I think, when we look at, if there is a limited number of literature, those 5 to 10 books will inevitably represent the entire society, because that's the only portal that any external person or an expat or a tourist comes in and reads those books, and that's not accurate. Every society needs to have many stories out there, a lot of art created, and I think in the volume, then we will have competition, then the best will resonate, and then there will be a lot more narrative that represents a market. So I think keep creating, and not all your work will be perfect, but you have to continue to create and put work out there, so that the limited number of paintings or books or works in any field don't represent an entire nation or an entire culture. Each one of us has a story, each one of us has a perspective, and we should put them out there, and then the best will prevail and the best will resonate, and I think that's the best way to go about it.
Ahlam, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we come to the end of this episode. I wish this could carry on for another hour at least. But if you've reached the end of this episode, it means that the written feature on Ahlam is also out on Entrepreneur Middle East print and digital media. So please do make sure you read that. Ahlam, it has been an absolute honor to have you on Anchored Echoes. Thank you very much for your time.
The pleasure is mine.
And thank you for tuning in, as always. Like I mentioned at the end of all my episodes, these aren't meant to last more than a few minutes, but we hope they bring you inspiration that lasts, which is precisely why that's the tagline of the show. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.